branded by women. I'm so excited. This is the day we've been all waiting for. Athena led yesterday with this amazing mindset day, and she did amazing, and her guests were just absolutely phenomenal. And I am so happy to have my favorite people today in the marketing day. When Danny told me, there's a handful of people I can pick, of course, y'all came to mind because of your unique personalities, your absolute grind, your absolute power and potential and creativity, and all of that. So I'm so, so happy to be here with all of you. And I want y'all to, just go around and tell your name and a little bit about you because even though I know you all, maybe some people don't know as much about you as I do. So, Cassandra, would you like to go first?
Of course. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I am Cassandra Craven, the Helium 10 social media content manager, and I'm going to be talking all about social media and how to brand yourself, your business, everything you need to know.
Awesome. Melissa?
I am Melissa Simonson. I run the Empower E-commerce Cooperative, a nonprofit founded to help e-commerce entrepreneurs. And my segment was on the mindset day, but I'm really excited to talk about what I know about marketing because as a nonprofit, we have to get pretty creative when it comes to marketing.
I bet that's the case. I can't wait to get a little bit more into that. Yael, coming all the way from Israel. Would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. My name is Yael Kabili. I'm an attorney, originally a trademark attorney, but I'm an e-commerce attorney now. I've been dealing with Amazon sellers since 2015. We're based in Israel, but most of the attorneys are licensed in New York. And I'm also co-founder of the company Fortunet that deals with exit, the sale of Amazon accounts at the end of the road.
Wow, I love that. You know what I love about this group? That everybody's so different. I mean, we're all together. We're all sharing, the Amazon platform per se, even though none of us sell. I mean, Christina does, but she fell off, I think. Probably her internet is not working well. She was actually working in what we call her sweatshop, and it's just a funny name we gave her garage. She transformed it into this warehouse. You guys have to see it when you come to San Diego. It's amazing. So if she doesn't come back in, I'll talk a little bit about her. But I think it's just so important to have just different perspectives and different solutions to our problem because we all kind of face so many difficulties through our careers, and it's important to just share that with everybody else. Like, we're all unique, Cassandra, you're just like this amazing creative person that I've always wanted to be. So that's why when we picked this group, I was like, oh my God, we're all connected by the Amazon platform, but we all have that unique touch that we put into our work. So, for you, Cassandra, it's all about creativity, and I kind of lack that. So I always look forward to hearing tips from you. And Melissa, you're always so poised and you're always so well spoken. And I've told you this so many times before that I've always looked up to you, wanted to be like you because you speak so well. And then Yael is like this badass power woman in Israel, and and I've worked with a lot of Israeli sellers, and they are a little tough. So I can only imagine, the strength that it takes for you to be a woman in a powerful man world. And then there's Christina. She changed her location from the sweatshop to her more upward level. Christina, do you want to tell us who you are for those that don't know you?
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I was away for a couple of minutes. I lost my connection somehow. I don't know. Sorry for that. So my name is Kristina Yurodimska. I'm an Amazon seller for many years, and also I have a couple of brands that I created. I work mostly with the products for the females, compression hosiery, lots of stuff being done for me. I keep researching for everything in the maternity and prenatal segment. So I think I'm a good part of the female empowerment event and organizations as well. So I'm happy to be here and join this amazing event. And thank you, Danny, for inviting me, and Izabela for inviting me here as well.
Of course, Christina, you're so amazing. And Melissa, you mentioned that you love mindset. I do too. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have gotten the mindset day. But you know what? It all combines perfectly together because you can't have one without the other. You can't have marketing without mindset. You can't have mindset without marketing. It all has to work together. And when it comes to marketing, we all have our own different, unique perspectives. So, one of the most important things in marketing is that it informs people about your products. In order to buy a product or a service, your audience has to have a solid understanding of what you do and how your product works, whether it's a service like Helium 10 or a product like Christina's. And consumer education is extremely important. And I think Christina here is the perfect example of great marketing because she created TerraMed and now Pregnology, and she did it all by informing consumers at all time relentlessly. And I want you, Christina, to just tell us a little bit about how you created TerraMed, and then we'll go all into Pregnology because I think what you did is amazing and it blows my mind every time I come over to your house and I see the madness and everything that you have there. So please share with us how you do that.
Wow, I'm flattered. Thank you so much. When I was doing the Pregnology, my idea, how I formed that idea, it was something that TerraMed is mostly all about the varicose veins, DVT, restless leg syndrome. These are the pains of the customers that they have, and I was looking for the solution for that. So I came up with the perfect idea how to deliver that product to customers, and Amazon was an amazing way to do that. So I combined all of this together, and we did this marketing campaign where we educate almost on daily basis. We're posting the diagnosis where our products can be applied and help to we work with medical supply store, with the doctors. We're sending them the samples all the time. We're educating them consumer as well as the providers of our products. So that is the good marketing thing. Even before the selling the product, you need to educate them. You need to tell them of your product. You need to tell your own story, how you come up with this, what you did to make the research to manufacture that, what are the steps involved in the manufacturing, and how we different from all the competition. And talking about the Pregnology, I've been working a lot with the edema in the maternity females. They all have problems with swollen legs, night lamp cramps. I come up with the idea that they all lack a comfortable, cute clothing that is very affordable, but at the same time it creates, it gives them the feminine feel, because females, when they're pregnant, they do need specific clothing that are designed for them. They cannot be in the pre-pregnancy clothing. So we came up with this idea in the Pregnology. It's called the capsule collection. So basically it's gonna consist of multiple items that can be combined all together with very affordable pricing. So we have this box. It's only cost $100, and it's gonna get you three. I'm gonna do a little marketing campaign. I'm doing that. It's gonna get
marketing today.
Yes, you're gonna get 3 tank tops, 2 dresses, shorts, and leggings, all in the price of $100. And I'm gonna crash the maternity market. I want to be everywhere in all the brick and mortar stores in Target and Walmart. We're gonna be monopolizing as much as we can Amazon. I'm very, very, very much dedicated to get that success that I put in my mindset with these amazing marketing ideas that I have. And thank you so much, Cassandra. Keeps helping me, giving me ideas. Okay, Christina, look at this influencer, what they doing. Izabela with the Rank Bell, they're working so hard. All the team of the Rank Bell is helping me in all the companies that I ever been launching and all the products, and they're amazing. Not only working on Amazon, but they can also do an amazing work on optimizing your ranking in Google and all the other platforms. So yes, altogether we are very powerful, and thank you ladies to be the part of this team of the Branded by Women and all the female empowerment event. I'm very proud that I know you and all of you, that I can call you and I can get the advice, which probably cost me if I would go to some consulting agencies hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars. So thank you.
See, that's what's amazing about bringing your best friend on a webinar, because she'll pump up your services like it's the best thing out there. It's like free marketing. This is about marketing. So there you go. Perfect example. Thank you. No, I invited Christina because, as I said, she is one of those people that I look at every single day and I'm like, how in the world are you able to do so many projects in the same amount of time it takes me to like do one thing? And even that day, I'm like, oh my God, Christina, I'm exhausted tonight. I'm going to sleep at 9 p.m. And she's up until 1 a.m. grinding every single day. So I love that about you. And I'm very excited about
Thank you.
You're going to be the next Jessica Alba.
I told you, don't put the limits. Jessica Alba net worth is like 200 millions.
I apologize. I will take that back. You're not Jessica Alba. You're going to the moon. So, another favorite thing that I love about marketing is how it just sustains relationships, and marketing is so important because it allows businesses to maintain these long-lasting relationships like you have with your customers, Christina, and present relationships with anybody that comes in contact with your service. And who's the best person to talk about relationships if not Cassandra Craven? I think, Cassandra, what you do, seriously, it's so amazing to me. You're always rebranding. Talk about rebranding. I know you have something special to tell us, but you're always so on point. You're always so driven. And when I think of my business, I'm like, oh, it's the same and it's fine. But you're always creative and you're always bringing new ideas. So please tell us how important relationships are, when it comes to Helium-10, and really anything else you want to talk about.
Well, I've got to live up to that hype now. Since today is all about it. We are out with the old, everyone. So no more of that. It's all about this. Brand new logos, which I think should be a note to every female entrepreneur, any entrepreneur out there, that you can always, oh, look at Melissa. That's right. Very nice, ladies. I like it. We're all stocked. But I think that's something that we need, and I talk about this in my presentation. You need to be a chameleon when it comes to marketing. You have to be ready to change. You have to be ready to rebrand, reinvent yourself. You got to be the Madonna, if you will. You got to look at what's trending, what's hot, and you got to go for it. And with Helium-10, something that I'm so thankful for is the relationships and the people I've met, specifically many of the women on this call, that have built their businesses, their brands, their empires. And that is so inspiring to me, and that feeds my creativity. When I first came on board, there was a handful of women and a lot of male-dominated male industry. And there's a lot of cool opportunities there, but I saw some really cool opportunities for women. And that just spurred my creativity. I look to the Jessica Albas. You look to these actors, and you look at what they're doing on the big screen. What are you seeing in commercials? What are advertising agencies doing? And applying that to your tactics. So everyone kind of, like you said, one hand, the other. It always goes from one to the next. And everyone is a full circle operation, if you will. And especially when we talked about HQ visits when you come in, that's a platform for people to brand themselves. But that gives value to our members of, how did this person do it? How did they get the inspiration? How did they get the drive? What can motivate them to get off their butts and do the same thing? And I think sometimes we do feel so stuck in our 9 to 5, or people are scared to take that next step. And then when you hear from people like this, that's what it's all about. And we also recently, this is not a plug though, but I swear there's a relevant circle here, transition. We had George Bryant on the AMPM podcast. And one thing he said that I thought articulated what I do perfectly is relationships will always beat the algorithm. And I loved that, because I think about, yes, you can put all your strategy in, and I 100% believe that. But when you build relationships with people, they are always going to want to support you. When it's genuine, when it's real, it's always a support system that you're going to have there. And especially because I truly feel a connection to everyone I work with. And there is an empowerment there that I want to make sure it's an equal opportunity. We're going back and forth. If you do something fantastic, I will support that, and vice versa. So it's all about relationship building. Work with your influencers, send them some swag. You never know what you can do.
Honestly, I don't remember Helium 10 without Cassandra. Like I
Yes.
back and it's like, did it even really exist? You know, I mean, I don't want to go that distance because, you know, but no, you really put that woman touch there where
Yes.
Thank you so much. And that means, honestly, it means so much to me. And like I said, you guys inspire me each and every day when I hear about what you're doing, nonprofits, businesses, legal aspects, everything you can do. I'm just like, I got to start doing more stuff.
I know that's the beauty of being around other women, and I feel the same. And I'm like, oh, I see she's doing this and she's doing this. Especially that I see Christina every day, who's like killing it every day. I'm like, oh my god, I should do more, and I should. And Christina's actually helping me launch my very first brand.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Very exciting and very scary. But yeah, it's, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have, moved my body to do anything. I'm like, it's okay. What I do is fine. But, I get inspired by every one of you. And I feel like in the last year, our community of like women in business has grown so much. And I'm just so happy because that's really when I came out to the world with the service and, put myself out there, I was looking and was hoping to find other female entrepreneurs. And like I said before, I absolutely love men. I learned so much from men. And I mean, I have so much respect for Danny for working on literally 7 projects at the same time and killing it at each one. So for me, that's like, holy cow, I want to do that. And, it's just to show you that we get to learn from each other, from everyone, whether it's a man or a woman. But, I am a little biased and I love my women, and I like to be surrounded by that. And, like we're talking about marketing today, and it's all about marketing when it comes to our businesses. And, we sell our, not only our services, but our brand. Like we are our brand when it comes to Amazon and any other service that we provide. That's not like necessarily one of those regular jobs that we have. And, marketing is perfect because it sells products, it sells services. And the bottom line is that every single business out there wants to make money. Okay. And me, I am the one that will talk about money day in, day out. And marketing has a crucial role in achieving that goal. And, without marketing, businesses wouldn't exist. And I think Melissa from Empowering, that's one of the best, nonprofits out there, has helped so many services get recognized in the business. And Melissa, if you would be kind enough, would you tell us what are some great steps to take if your brand or service is not yet known or recognized?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a hard thing when you jump in and you're an unknown. How do you kind of navigate and get to where you're starting to be recognized? And something that we just mentioned that Cassandra is great at is a really key part of this. It's relationships. And I said this at the Empowering Women's Conference as well, but it's that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It has such a negative connotation anymore. And I think sometimes people use it to say, well, there's nepotism and there's, all these bad things in corporate life. And, but really what it comes down to is that when you are putting yourself out there and creating relationships, those relationships might be the key to changing your business forever. And, if you are going to events and you're putting yourself out there, then that's really a key way that you can start to change things. Because, we started doing things with Empowery as an unknown. And, it's a weird concept, a nonprofit in an e-commerce world. What? And so it's kind of a long explanation. What is Empowery about? You have to really get into a lot of details to fully explain all of the things that it encompasses. And so to have, a long explanation and stuff like that, it really is a hard thing. So we found a few things that started working. One, we had to start going to more events. And last year we kicked it up like 1,000 notches. And I think I went to 2 events in 2018, and I don't even know how many in 2019. It was a whirlwind, but it was madness. And it worked. We started getting our name out there a little bit more, and the people that we were forming relationships who were becoming part of Empowery, we also helped start to increase their visibility in social media and in the world of e-commerce. And the way that you can do that is well, there's many, but one of them, aside from the relationships, and just like Izabela said, having actual deep connections with people so they want to support you, that's really key. And then find the things that work. It's going to be different for each kind of business. If you have one of those products that, it just doesn't come through the screen when you're just looking at Amazon, people don't really get it. TikTok is a wonderful way to do that because it's made for a product demonstration. Like, that is the best thing. And, stop motion films are a fantastic way to demonstrate your product, which Anthony Lee at Helium 10 does, and I've watched all of his TikToks. He does so well. And then doing lives like Bradley, Athena, those work very well. We found, it was by accident actually that I found this out. I was sending a message to all of our members about an upcoming all hands call, and I dropped the ball. I was traveling that weekend and I hadn't sent out an email, so I was like, oh crap. So I just did a live message on Facebook for our secret Facebook group, and Facebook told me that post had 95% more engagement than all of our other posts. And I was like, oh my gosh. And at the time I was still very nervous. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm good at this. So I was nervous to start doing a bunch of lives, but you have to just keep doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. And so we shifted away from some of the things that weren't gaining traction, and we started doing more of those. And then we also found opportunities to include our partners in that, so we could get them visibility as well, which in turn produces more collaborative content, and then other people are mentioning you. And it is by far more effective to have other people singing your praises than it is for you to sing your own praises. People want to hear that someone else had a good experience with you, and they will post about it. And so if you gain, if you work at these relationships and you do more for people, they will spread the word for you, which is so much better. And then, another thing that you can do is, creating the groups and being active. Even if you don't have your own Facebook group, or you don't need one for just a product-based business, then it's still effective to be going into these groups, saying what you know about things, just developing a persona for your brand, because people don't like to buy stuff. They like to buy ideals, and they like to buy into a person. So if you can have a face of your brand, if it's you or if it's someone in your organization that you don't, if you don't want to be the face of it, I totally understand that. But sometimes you got to step up. People, they want to buy from a person. It's less about the thing that they're buying than about the trust that they have buying from that person, because there's a lot of stuff out there and some are very similar to what you're selling. But if they know that there's a trust level, that's how you can establish your brand a little bit better than if you're just trying to push your product.
I love that. I think you've done such a great job with Empowering, Melissa. I mean, I remember that video that you mentioned, and and I think people love that because it's raw and it's who we are, and it just shows that we don't have to be perfect. Even though, Melissa, you're always perfect, but the rest of us that are not always perfect, we tend to think, well, I can't really do a live. Like, what are people going to think? Are they going to judge me? And I know, when I first started to speak, oh my God, I was so freaked out. Melissa, remember? Like, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And we were trying to do the mic the night before. And, and I came to the realization that, people just want to learn, and they don't put as much thought into like what you look like or how you say it per se, but what you say and how you can help them, because we all look for that one thing that can change where we are right now. Whether, I go to all of these events, and I do it, because I love people and I love to be surrounded by people, and I get my energy from that. But a lot of the times, I will meet a person that will just give me that one small idea that, will change my whole business. I met a lot of good friends through through this, and I am not I'm not the person to say no to help. Like, if I need help, I'll ask my friends. And even if that kind of not lowers my value, sometimes it feels like that. I'm like, hey, can you help me with the smallest thing that seems like to somebody, but for me it's such a big help. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without all my friends and everybody who I met. And like you say, Melissa, it's so important to just do a good job, and then people will talk about you. And this brings me to the probably one of the most amazing things about the marketing, and it's how it helps the company grow. And I think Yael and I have a lot in common when it comes to this. Not only that we're both powerful women in a in a men's society, but her business has grown pretty much word of mouth. And when you look at it, it's like, well, is that really marketing? I think it's really the best kind of marketing there is, because you do a really great service, and then people will talk about it forever and ever. And even without us paying for advertising, we're still doing marketing. We are being ourselves, we're branding ourselves, and we're delivering services that people are happy with. Therefore, they tell other people about our services. And Yael, would you like to tell us a little bit about how you grew this amazing business? And you have 3 children, yes? And you're an attorney also, and oh my god, it just blows my mind. I could list so many things about you, so please give us a little bit of insight into Yael's world.
I started in 2015 when it was really like a blue ocean.
Can we? I'm sorry, Yael. Can you maybe let's all have us mute so that we can make sure there's no feedback. So we
okay,
can
there's an echo, right?
Yeah.
Is it okay now? Yeah. Okay. Great. So I started in 2015. It started with one seller that came to me. You're a trademark lawyer. I have a trademark problem. Can you help me? And I looked into that, and I read about Amazon and how it works. I helped the guy, and then he asked me, "Listen, is it okay if I post what I had and what happened, so that other will not go through the same problem?" I said yes. And so he told me it's a group of, I think it was 2,000 sellers at that time. Today it's probably 25,000. And then he wrote the story, and the same day 20 sellers came to me. "Listen, I have a problem. Can you help me?" So I helped them, and then someone asked me to help with the closed account. So I tried once, I tried a second time, and then the third appeal was successful. So the guy, of course, wrote the story on the Facebook, and then the next day, many sellers came to me. "Listen, I have the same problem. Can you help me?" And so, one led to the other. And every time someone had a problem, I was like, tagged on another group and another group, and I started, giving lectures about intellectual property on Amazon. That's a field that nobody talks about. And I'm trying to educate sellers about it, and explain how to avoid problems for the first place, and then how to deal with them once they occur. And I think the rest was a lot about relationship, I guess. I've never spent, as you said, I've never spent money on advertising, because people tell each other. It's a word of mouth. And many of the sellers, with time, they became really my friend. I mean, with some of them, sometimes I go out with them. I meet them in conferences. I travel a lot, so that my husband always laughs. I tell him, it's that client, the guy that is my friend. He's like, everybody's your friend. They're all your friends. So it's really it's a lot in my field, at least. It's a lot about listening to the sellers. They speak with me about a suspension, and then we go on, and then we find other problems, and then we go on, and then we discuss their kids. But I never have a conversation with a client where it's only about that problem. We're always talking about everything, and I think this is what helped me to grow, because people are always happy to share that we help them with this, we help them with that. That's the way I work. I also give an emphasis on content. I think that at the end, people don't want you to tell them about your services. They want you I mean, they do, but they really want to hear about the specific content and how to deal with the issues. So I can spend hours on the preparation for a conference or even for a webinar, so that it will be precisely what I want to say, and so that I will leave something to the people watching.
You're so amazing, Elle, and you bring up so many good points, and I can tell now. I know why you're so successful, because you care about what you do, and you're also very, loving. Like you can just tell that about a person, and a lot of people forget that. They forget that they need to connect. A lot of people, like these days, and we're all on social media all the time, and we see it. I see it all the time. People paying for followers for a brand, or for a service, and these are just new marketing techniques that people are doing. They're trying to maximize their social media presence, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily bad, but we get lost in this, and we forget that these are real people. I would rather have 100 like sellers come to me and say that I'm amazing and my service is amazing, rather than having 10,000 followers on Instagram or on something that mean nothing to me. They don't do anything. And I think it's very important to try to connect with your clients, and as long as we remember that. And I've seen it. I mean, I see it with all of you here today. Each one of you has done just that, has connected with the clients to the point where people know you. Each one of you, they know you, they know what you've done. And when that happens, they will do it. They will tell other people with pleasure. It's like you did something amazing today. Maybe you changed their life. You don't even know. Especially for Amazon sellers, they, for a lot of them, this is their main income stream. And to be able to touch somebody's life in that point where it's, you maybe now they can leave their job, and they're not going to be that stressed anymore, even though of course being an entrepreneur comes with its own issues. But having touched somebody's life, I think in the end that's really the best thing you can possibly do for somebody, whether it's you're bringing somebody happiness or you're making them money, or however you can do that. Melissa, I would like to come back to you if you don't mind. And, because we're talking about like marketing strategies and how some of these people use social media in this way. What kinds of marketing strategies do you recommend for somebody that maybe does not have like a big budget?
I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do that that actually are surprisingly cheap, as I've found out. I mean, certainly posting on a regular basis, the more you post, the more the algorithm on Facebook and Instagram love you. They will, do more for you if you are doing more for them. So posting often, and having it, providing valuable content, obviously, those are things that they cost time, but they don't necessarily cost money. You don't have to do the sponsored, ads or the, Facebook, whatever's boost post, whatever. If you're doing that, then that's money out of your advertising budget. But if you have good content and people trust the content as coming from a reliable source, then you gain permission to post in Facebook groups. And, people want to post things in their groups, but they don't want a lot of fluff and nonsense. They want valuable content for their people, or they will remove your post and boot you from the group. So if you have valuable content, then, you get this permission and trust level so that you can post in other people's groups, which is really fantastic, because instead of having to gain, 5, 10, 15,000 followers yourself, or, people who are into what you're saying or the content you're providing, you now just instantly have access by having this relationship with one person or one team of people that is, maybe 5 people. And by having those relationships, now you have access to 5, 10, 15,000 of your target market. So that's a really, really positive way that you can do it. Spend the time instead of spending the money. Sometimes people are the opposite. They're like, I don't have time. I'd rather just spend the money, but it's still important to have the valuable content. Another thing, way back when I started my first business, I remember calling my brother Steve to say, okay, what should I do? I don't know anything. And he's like, well, that's not helpful. What questions do you have? I was like, what do you ask when you know nothing? So he pointed me to the book, Guerrilla Marketing. It's a very old book. I think that it was written in like the 80s or something like that. And even when he recommended it to me, he's like, it's pretty old and some of the things are outdated. There's not a ton of online stuff, but still there's some important things on there about the way that you think about marketing, because it's obvious that you can pay for ads. It's obvious that you can, try and use your SEO to your benefit and things like that. But it is not obvious that you can think about things outside of the box, in terms of, like in a local situation, some of the stories in there are about like billboards and how you can negotiate to get more for less. And everything isn't exactly sticker price. And that's definitely an outdated method, but it's still applicable in terms of the mindset. Don't just accept what is. Just because it has been done doesn't mean it is the way that it should be done. So always think creatively when it comes to the way that you're marketing. And again, relationships, Facebook groups, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter has a powerful audience. And I don't do enough in Twitter, but imagine like the growth that Empowery alone has had and our partners from what we've done just in the past year is astronomical. To be an unknown and then become known by so many people is absolutely incredible. And that's not taking into consider Twitter. So imagine if we are like pushing hard in Twitter, which unfortunately we're going to have to start doing soon. I'm not a Twitter person, but I will become one.
I tried Twitter like 3 times and then I deleted it 3 times. And I'm like, okay, I'm giving up. I don't understand this. And I'm one of those people that I just get mad and I throw it in the trash. Twitter's in the trash right now. So maybe Cassandra like teaches me some things. Maybe I'll pick it back up from the trash and I'll bring it back into my life.
But LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, LinkedIn. So powerful.
Yes.
It is amazing. And so a question just came up, by the way. I'll let you guys, I'll answer it as well. But the question that came up was, how do you come up with powerful content? Yeah, here you go. How do you figure out what is valuable content for customers? I struggle to think of content outside the benefits of my products. So this is fantastic. This is such a great question because I think everybody wants to know what this question is. If you're just demonstrating the value of your product, it is not important to the person watching. It doesn't matter. Like you're talking about a thing, that is something we can scroll past. But if you're talking about them, if you're talking about the person and how that product can benefit the person who is going to use the product. If you say, I have a cleaning service and I will clean this and I will clean that and it will look delicious or whatever, that is not as valuable to somebody than if you say, imagine walking into your home after it has been fully cleaned, you have that deep sigh of relief, knowing that everything has already been taken care of. That sigh of relief is what they want to buy.
Oh my God, Melissa, do you have such a service? Because I didn't know I needed this in my life, but I think right now I need this service. So I love that. You see, you just need a little bit of an outside look into what you have, and then you can turn your business into something amazing. And I think Cassandra is probably one of the best to tell us about all creative inspiration. And Cassandra, do you want to tell us just a few tips on how to become more creative? I'm asking even for myself because I lack a lot of creativity because I just get so overwhelmed with my daily life. And I'm like, I need Cassandra in my life. So.
Thank you. I need all of you in my life. I would love to go back really quick to what you said about the emotional connection, Melissa, and how people feel. And something I learned a long time ago, even when I was young, teen years, people will always forget about what you said. They'll forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel, good or bad. And I fully believe that. I can remember people and I'm like, I don't know why, but I don't like you. Or I love you. I don't remember why, but I know I like you a lot. And the same holds true for brands and products and things like that. So when you're coming up with content, yes, you can focus on how well your blender chops and purees and does all these things. But when you put in that if you can make smoothies that will benefit your children's health and wellness and benefits and bring that to the forefront, that is what clicks with people. That's what resonates with them, or on the go, if you're running a busy schedule, that's what something that like clicks of like, oh man, yeah, I'm really busy and I don't have time to stop and get a smoothie, but I could have one here with your wonderful product. That's what you kind of have to resonate with. And in terms of creativity, I look for inspiration literally everywhere. And I think that's something that people struggle with, or maybe if that's not your strong suit, you take stuff that you've seen or that, comes at you and you take it at face value. And it's like, oh, well, I can't do that. That's McDonald's, or I can't do that. That was Aquaman, or, you have to apply it to yourself. You just have to think, well, how could I do something like that that's applicable to my brand, my business? And just think outside the box, because there's opportunities everywhere. And then I love, especially bloggers and influencers, I think they are some of the best grassroots inspiration you can ever get, because like you said, Melissa, it's on a budget. They're doing stuff from the ground up, and you want to like look at what can you do in your home. I mean, we've talked about TikTok, especially with quarantine. People have become more creative than ever, whether you're just making, a recipe in your kitchen or whatever it is. The simplest things can really boost your creativity. So I say look for it everywhere. And again, bring it back to the community. We do have Facebook groups. Always slide in my DMs. I'm here. You just want to build that community and talk with people about how you can resonate the products, the creativity, and have that psychological connection as they're scrolling through that'll make them stop and learn more.
Love it.
Awesome.
You're so amazing, Cassandra. Every time I hear you, I get a little creative. I get a little inspired. So maybe I'm gonna go and like redo my whole closet now or something.
Let me know.
I put in practice something. I love all of it. We got a comment here. You all sound amazing and inspiring. Unfortunately, as a beginner that's interested in Amazon, I have very difficult time to find people who are willing to navigate me to the right path. So this is what this conference is all about.
We're right here.
This is it. Whether you're just starting out or you've been at it for a long time, you are going to find something just for you. I mean, 30 amazing speakers, and each one is so different, so unique. We all bring our own different touches to the subject exactly. And don't be afraid to ask. I think a lot of us kind of hold back because we don't want to bother somebody. And like you say, Cassandra, you tell people all the time, please contact me. I mean, I don't know how many people actually do, but I wouldn't assume it's a lot. I mean, I maybe a few, but people forget that, that's actually an open invitation. Like, we want you guys to contact us. Let us know how we can help. And, we're going to be there for you. And, that's what Branded by Women is about, and all the other conferences and all the other lives that Danny's doing, and, all the Helium 10 users group and Empowering. And I mean, we have such a big community. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're always here to help, and hopefully, we can inspire you in any way. Yeah, Elle, I'd like to come back to you because it's not every day that I get to talk to an amazing, amazing lawyer, and I'd like to take advantage of this. And I don't know, I want to ask you so many things, but I think one of the fun things that I would like to know is what's like the biggest legal case that you've ever dealt with, or the strangest or most outrageous, however you want to call it. If you can just give us a little story, I'm very curious.
Wow, there are so many strange cases, and some of them I really keep as a secret, not because it's confidential, but it gives people ideas of things to do. Some black hats that, wow, I mean, if you heard of it, you would never believe us. One of the interesting cases that we had, I think that I remember the most, it was about 3 years ago. A seller that was selling a product, and then he saw that the items were, going down. So he had 200, and then he had 199, 198, but then the money didn't come in. All right, so he was selling and selling, and money doesn't come in, but the items go down. And then he saw Amazon on the listing, and Amazon started selling on the listing. And every time he sold, every time they sold Amazon, the items went out of his FBA inventory and they got the money. Something like crazy. It's the first time I saw that. Then I saw it 2 or 3 times, with other sellers. It's probably a technical issue, but the guy sent, so many cases, so many letters. They didn't listen to him. So we went hard on Amazon on that one, and they immediately gave him back the items and the money and everything, and they apologized. Even that's something Amazon doesn't do a lot. I think that was one of the craziest, but Another one, and I'm hesitating if I should say it, but it was really strange. I had a client who was, who was removing hijackers on the brand registry, as she does every time, there's someone jumping on the listing. So she removed the seller from the listing, and then she got a notification from Amazon saying, "Hey, you were removed from your listing because the trademark owner this and that removed you." And we looked at it, and the trademark number was her. So someone used her trademark and filed a complaint to Amazon saying, "Hi, I'm the owner of the trademark. Please remove that woman." And and that's something crazy. So when we spoke to Amazon, we wrote to them, it's like removing Nike from Nike's listing. I mean, if I can do that, if I can go on Nike's listing tomorrow and just, file a complaint with Nike's number, then something's wrong with Amazon. We then saw that several times. I think Amazon fixed it, and they are looking, they're trying to see if the person filing the complaint is actually the trademark owner now. But there are some loopholes. So these are the crazy ones. Then there are, the big fights we have, but the big fights are the things that you hear about. People removed that they shouldn't be removed, people suspended, they shouldn't be suspended, or the regular stuff. But there are so many crazy things. I won't start.
I bet you could write a book on that, Yael.
I do. I thought about it, writing a book just about the weird things that Amazon does, and that seller, that's at the end, that's their life. That's what I was saying. Like I'm half a friend and half a lawyer and half a psychologist sometimes. So yeah, you need to listen.
That's
I see questions on the right, by the way. Michelle asked a question about what's the biggest hurdle you had to overcome when starting the business, and how you push forward. So for me, if I had to answer that question, the biggest hurdle for me was the number of clients. I mean, when you probably have that, Izabela, all the time, and all of you, we are so many. There are so many sellers. So when you work with with hundreds of them every day, and you don't want to drop the ball, so you need a very, very good system. For me, that was very difficult on the first year, answering everybody and speaking with everybody, and building a team that will be strong enough to respond to everybody on time and handle and being the best. I think it took us a year or even 2 years until I felt it's very strong, and now we can have an I won't say unlimited, but a very large of clients at the same time.
I love that
You probably all felt it, right, Izabela? Did you have it too?
Yeah, I actually love that you brought that up, because it shows the people out there that there's a lot of business. Like, just because I have my business or Yael has hers or we all do, there's so much room for everybody else out there. And yes, I am overwhelmed a lot with my business sometimes. And that's probably one of the reasons I never market in my business either, because I've always had such an influx of sellers coming in, and then some sellers finish their campaign and I won't hear from them for a few months, and I have others that are continuous, and they do campaigns every month, but I'm never in lack. So, and it's always good. I love when somebody recommends another seller, because I know I already created that relationship with the previous seller, and when they send somebody, it's like I feel like it's my duty to do the best job that I can for them. And that's why, we could all scale. All of us, we could scale our business if we want to. It's just a matter of, are you willing to put in the time? If you're a seller, the capital, if you have a service, just like you said, Al, are you willing to, maybe invest in creating a bigger team or better systems, whatever you want to do. And that's why I think, it's so cool that we're all here. And, if you're a woman and you're watching this and you've been thinking for a while, maybe to become an Amazon seller, you can do that. Don't be afraid that Amazon is overwhelmed or it's overpopulated or however you want to look at it, there's always room for more. Or if you're a book writer, of course you're going to look on Amazon or any bookstore and you're going to be like, oh my God, who's even going to buy my book? But somebody will, because if you put your heart and soul into it, you're going to make it. That if I thought that the ranking space was already taken care of, I would have never approached this. And I didn't come into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna become a millionaire one day. It never even crossed my mind. I saw that I could help somebody. I was able to buy myself a few nice pair of shoes, okay? And then I said, all of this combined, it made me push more and more. And you will see when you get to a point where you're already making enough money that you don't even care about that amount, like your whole life changes. You're more about helping others. You're more about creating the community. You're going to another step, and that step is beautiful. And that's that's what we're all doing here with Branded by Women. We're all sharing our each individual stories. And my story, I could never compare it to Yael, for example. She lives in a completely different place. She has different studies than me. She's dealing with strong cases from Amazon, who, like she said, Amazon is not always the easiest to work with, because the way I see it, and hearing from my sellers, Amazon, you put in a complaint and they will, for example, like Al said, they removed her own listing because they do things now and ask questions later. So Amazon is not perfect, but that just shows us that it's okay not to be perfect. They're not perfect, and they're the biggest company in the world, and they're making the most money. So again, I try to look for the positive in every situation. If Amazon can suck sometimes, then I'm allowed to suck sometimes and still make it. So to me, it just shows that we don't have to be perfect to get to be experts and mastery. Since Michelle will talk about mastery tomorrow. I can't wait for that. You guys are so amazing, and I want to talk to you all day, but before we end today, I want to ask my bestie Christina, where do you get your energy to work on all these projects all the time? Please, can I have some inspiration? Anything you can offer to not only to me, but all the other women who are, you're a single mom. You have your child every single day, and yet you run however many businesses you run, and you're helping me start my own brand because I'm lazy. How do you do all of this, Christina? Please tell us.
I don't think there is any secret of that. I was born as a serial entrepreneur from the very beginning. I like what I do, and it long time ago. It's not about the money. It's about bringing something valuable to the community. I really love. My passion is about. Females, and I keep telling it's about being a mother, and really love that stage of. The female's life, the pregnancy, and that's my passion. I truly think there is nothing more beautiful than the pregnant lady, and I really appreciate that right now in our community, even in Amazon community, thanks to Danny and other guys, they really care about the females. They want us to grow. They support us. They support our businesses. And this is an amazing opportunity. And thank you so much, Danny, for bringing in this event, and all of the guys, Helium 10 for inviting girls and keep doing things for the girls. Thank you for that. And I think that helps us to be inspired. It keeps us to be inspired. It gives us that push. Okay, yes, do it. The Melissa's event that we've been recently in Manhattan Beach was amazing. It gives us so much power, and it really gives the opportunity for all the girls to look at the other female entrepreneurs. If she can do it, I can do it as well. And the only thing that we have to understand as ladies, whatever we want for ourselves, we can do ourselves. It's just a matter of the determination, drive, and what helps us, what brings us to be here. For me, it's my child. I know I'm the only one who can bring him to the world, give him education, food, care, love, and support, and be the one that will be pushing for him. And I think our kids and our drive and our creativity, it's all inside us. and we can bring it to the world with the beautiful vibe of love, care, and support for each other as well. And let me answer. There are some more questions over there about, I think, Jamaica's and kids. Let's answer those questions. Yes, there are some things that the Caribbean, Jamaica cannot sell on Amazon.com. Unfortunately, there are some other countries in Eastern Europe, I think it's Kazakhstan. Yes, they cannot go through the validation process. Another question was here about the struggles I went through. Also, I wanted to quickly answer that. My financial job, very real person, if you know me, I've been through a lot, it's the money. And the money was always the problem for me, how to get this capital. You're not even thinking about the return of the capital, not your ROI. You're thinking about the money, how I can get this money to invest them. And there is one of the sponsors of this event, branded by women, is the VESC. I want all of you to look at them and see what they do, and they're really helping people to get some insight of the financial institutions that they can help you get some ideas and can properly educate you how to set up the business, especially the one that comes to the e-commerce in a better way. And also Helium 10, of course, the new tools are added, and the tools that are there right now, it's trendsetter. Always look at the new things that's showing up in the industry. Pay attention, buy box, profitability calculator, everything. Pay attention to them. You're gonna be, it's not gonna give you money right away, but it gives you the healthy idea in business how you can save on it. And of course, Rank Bell, you couldn't notice it there. If you want good marketing that will work for you, that will guide you through the way with the years of experience of their team, yes, this money would be invested properly. So with the accessibility for all these tools, for all these companies in the easy reach, that would give you the idea how you can healthy and easily navigate with the amount of money you have to invest it properly to make your company go, to make your business grow and be there for you. And of course, as anyone have questions about Amazon, branded or anything, I'm not an expert. I'm not putting myself an expert in anything, but I do try to help everybody, whoever reaches me out or something, I'm there to help you. So yes, if someone has any questions, always feel free to reach me out. And thank you again.
Now you guys understand why I love Christina. And that's the perfect example right there. Now she's you always I always see you try to help everyone, whether it's a person on the street to somebody that's already doing millions. I've always seen you reach out and help everyone, and I thank you for helping me. Ladies, you're also amazing. I want to thank each one of you. Would you like to have one last word? What would you say to all the women out there watching? If there's one thing that you can advise them to do if they're there watching this and they're scared to take that first step. Melissa, would you like to go first?
Yeah, this is sort of in line with one of the other questions that came through. There's a few questions I just want to touch on real quick. It's, the content question, I know that the people are listening to this, it's easy for us to say, think outside the box. That it doesn't, it is what you have to do, but it's hard to take those words and actually transition those into steps for how to create content. So what we're trying to say by that is that you need to look at each situation in a unique way, and you have to start doing that on a routine basis so that you start training your mind, because it isn't just going to happen. You have to train your mind to do it. The other question was about, getting started. And what I would say to that is, one of the words that we use matter. And some of the words that were in that question were, I'm having trouble finding someone to help me navigate this. I want to just say that, sometimes you do need to be your own hero. That was my segment yesterday. And you have to just understand that it is ultimately up to you to drive the path and to define your why and to make that happen. However, there are many communities out there, and I would love to help you out. If you go to empower.com/contact, our main mission is to help entrepreneurs. So I would love to help you out with that and answer more in-depth questions. And then as far as anyone who wants to get started, it comes down to what you want and knowing that it is well within your control. Everything in life is exactly what you want it to be. So if things around you are not looking the way that you want, change it. This life is made for you. So make everything around you the way you want it to be. You are ultimately the one in control. So make it be whatever you want it to be. This is such a playground we live in. Have fun.
Amazing.
Amazing. It's so true. And I think that's why we all get along here, because we all kind of have the same mindset, and we're all so blessed to have met each other. Yael, would you like to say a last few words?
Yes, I think I agree with Melissa on two things. One, there's so much information on the groups, and just sitting and listening to all the presentations, webinars, online explanation. I mean, there's so much information, and you can start with that and grow with that. I also agree on the second point. For example, when I employ a new employee, I sit and I decide how I want the person to be, how exactly I want the person to be. And some people listen to me and they say, "Well, I mean, you're really aiming high. Where do you think you're going to find a person like that?" So first, I have a goal. I want this, and somehow it kind of happens. So I mean, I think you need a clear goal in your mind, and from my experience, I mean, at the end, it will happen. Just don't be afraid to imagine what you want to do.
Absolutely. I love that. Cassandra?
I'll make it quick. I know we're running out of time. I'm going to say that when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And I have been in social media for over 10 years, and I don't feel like I've ever worked. I love what I do. I love the people I connect with. And I think that rings true if you work for a brand or own your own brand. Because that's how you become a workaholic. You want to keep manifesting it. You want to keep growing it and seeing it thrive. And that if you love what you do, if you instill your passions, it's not work, guys. It's fun. You want to see it happen. So I think I think that's how Christina gets all of her energy. She just loves what she does so much. So that has to be it. But I would say if you love what you do, pursue your passions. It'll probably make you a better person inside and out.
Oh, so good. I love it. Christina, would you like to say last few words? We can't hear you.
Yes, I'll be very quick. I know we're running out of time as well. For the females, for the ladies, let's be very straightforward and nice. When you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, there is nothing stands out on the way. You know what? Do things that will make you look beautiful. Go buy this new pair of shoes, a nice dress, do the hairstyle when the salon's open. Be powerful, be bold, fearless, and go do that.
Oh my God, so much wisdom, so much love from these beautiful ladies. Oh my God, I feel so empowered right now. I think each and every one of you, I agree with everything y'all said. Mindset is very important. Look good, feel good, be your own hero. Go out there and get it. Have clear goals, and just like Cassandra says, just bring it all. Bring the energy, bring the creativity, and just be there for yourself. And I think that will work out. I thank you all for listening to us. We still have another amazing day tomorrow, and please reach out to all of us whenever you need us. We love you, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Izabela.
Bye.